Peggy O'Neill, and I'm here with our Facebook community answering the call today. And if you've been with me for the last few minutes, you've seen I've started and stopped this a couple of times because of just various things going on. So, welcome back if you've stuck with this. And please say hi. Let me know that you're here in the comments. Say hi if you're here in person. And if you have any questions or comments throughout, please let me know. And please, if you're watching on replay, put in hashtag replay. So again, I'm Peggy O'Neill. Welcome to Answering the Call. And as I saw on my one of the posts I did last week, or last week's Facebook Live, one of my colleagues posted a comment that said, answering the inner call. Answering the inner call. So that's really what we're doing here. The inner call is that sense, that longing that we have that something's missing. There's something else possible for my life. I know there's something else that's available to me. It's just that nagging, gnawing sense that we can't quite get rid of, a longing. So answering the call means that we are returning inwards, turning towards ourselves, knowing that all that we're seeking to fulfill what seems to be missing is really within us. It's already here. We don't have to continue to focus on activities and events and people and relationships out in the world to fulfill this nagging, this what's missing, and that we return to ourself. And thanks, Lisa, and thank you, Sharon. Yeah, somehow I got started. I just was flubbing, and so I thought I've got to start this over. Partly because for those of you who watch this on YouTube, because you watch it on YouTube, and I didn't want it to be quite as sloppy as I was beginning a few minutes ago. So we're back, and glad you're here. And so today we're focusing on a meditation. And I haven't done that before in the group. Don't really know why. I just thought of that the other day. And the reason for these sorts of meditations, I call them harmonizing meditations, is because for us to know, to be able to live as who we truly are, what we want to do is remove beliefs and emotions, thoughts, of course, another form of belief that's a form of belief. Beliefs are a form of thought that we want to release these emotions and thoughts that are holding us back from knowing our essential nature. And this sort of meditation process is a way to do that. And how does that do that? Well, as we're still, I'll be talking, you'll hear some things, and because your eyes will be closed and you're still, you're going to hear those things slightly differently than you would if you're reading a book or listening to a lecture. They're going to go into your knowing in a different way. And then there will be some opportunities to be with emotions in a way that those can also be somewhat released. Not totally probably in this meditation, but it'll be relaxed in some way. So it starts the releasing. So that's the reason for these meditations. And we do them in the Praxis, the ongoing program that I have, and I'll put a link to Calendly in the comments in case you want to talk to me about that. But I also realize that this will be an opportunity for you to experience. This is some of what we do there, an example of that. And this might be close to 30 minutes, so just know to get relaxed and just know it's going to be a while, but that's part of it too, is to be in this experience over a period of time, so it has the greatest opportunity to make a difference in our being, our emotional being, our body, our embodiment of these knowings, and to release what's out of alignment with who we truly are and how we want to live. And I've been working with designing these meditations for some time now, and I've realized over the years, as I've kind of rewritten what I've seen Rupert Spira do or experienced Rupert Spira do, and then other people, that there could actually be some sentences in here that are actually Rupert. So I want to acknowledge that up front, because as I've redesigned and thought it through, how do I want to say things, I might have inadvertently left in some of his exact sentences. So I want to acknowledge that up front. Also, I will pause at the end in case you have questions or comments. But as we end, I'll have a close of some sort. But then I'll wait about 2 minutes in case you have comments or questions. But I'm not gonna like break the energy by by asking if you have any questions or comments. And okay, I think that's it. So here we go. So, all right. Oh, and if you're watching this on replay, please put in hashtag replay. If you're live, please let me know. Let me know that you're here. And again, if you have comments, questions, post them, and I'll either answer them at the end if they're are at the end, or you can come back and I'll answer them later. So let's begin by allowing our experience to appear to us exactly as it is in this now. And now. And now. Without a desire to change anything. If that desire appears, you don't need to get caught up in it. If you are in any physical pain, of course, please take care of yourself. And if you aren't able to alleviate the pain or other physical discomfort, then allow the same approach of allowing that we'll be here with today. Wisdom traditions reveal to us that reality is a single, infinite, indivisible whole. Its nature is awareness, consciousness, pure knowing. What is this reality? Everything there is in our daily experience. We experience a world outside of us. People, nature, objects, animals. We also experience an inner world, thoughts, feelings, images, sensations. All of that is pure awareness. There is no thing other than awareness. Everything is made of awareness, consciousness, pure knowing. We have taken on the conditioning of the belief that reality is divided into two. There is ourself, and there is everything else. There is mind, and there is matter. There is spirit, source, consciousness, awareness. One of those names, whatever you call it, and the world. Matter and energy. Even if we now no longer accept the belief that that is our reality, our feelings reveal to us that we still experience the world as me and the world, me and others, me and nature, me and matter. We can examine this experience so it is no longer a philosophical idea that reality is a single, infinite, indivisible whole. We can do this by simply being aware, which we are now. We find it is the most ordinary, familiar, intimate quality of our experience. Notice now that you are aware of what I'm saying. You're aware of your physical body, thoughts, feelings. We are always experiencing the fact of being aware. That is what we mean by awareness, consciousness, pure knowing. The true nature of awareness is stillness, silence, spaciousness, without form. Awareness is what makes all experience knowable, so in that way, it is luminous. It illuminates or lights up all experience. It is the knowing component of all experience. At its origin is the empty. At its origin, it is empty in the sense that there is no form, no movement within it. We usually allow our thoughts, feelings, perceptions, sensations, and images be in the foreground of our experience. We focus on the content of our experience. So in that way, we often sense that awareness is in the background of our experience, the silent, still presence in the background of our experience. That being said, it is not the nature of awareness to be empty, still, silent, without motion. It is the nature of awareness to vibrate within itself, to move within itself. So at a certain point, this silent, still, transparent, empty, luminous, motionless awareness stirs, so to speak. It stirs within itself, without reason. Without reason. If there was a reason, there would have to be something manifested prior to the stirring. There is nothing manifest in awareness, so there is nothing to have a reason. There is just this pure, luminous emptiness, spontaneously stirring. It is its nature. That stirring is the primary motion through which awareness assumes the form of mind. What we mean by mind in this context is the activity of awareness. It is not something other than awareness. And we can use an image to bring this more alive. Imagine the motionless surface of an ocean. Now imagine the ocean vibrating, and it generates a ripple or wave on the surface. We could say that the ripple is the activity of the ocean. It's made only of the ocean, but now the ocean has a form, a shape. The ripples also have a name, ripple, and a form. The ripples are like the mind. Everything lies in potential in awareness, consciousness. It is only when awareness vibrates within itself that that potential begins to assume a form, something that can be named, perceived. And no matter the form, there is always only ever awareness. Nothing emerges out of awareness. Nothing exists independently of awareness. Everything there is in reality is a vibration of awareness. Now we have consciousness in two modes: consciousness still and consciousness vibrating. The still surface of the ocean and the rippling surface of the ocean. Now, as the rippling continues, one ripple, so to speak, is perceiving, meaning seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling. Later, thinking was added. This ripple can be said to be a localized point of view. Consciousness, through perceiving and thinking, is able to look at its own activity. The water hasn't really localized itself as the wave. It is spread equally throughout the ocean and sees all the other waves. But it now has a point of view. It, consciousness, assumes the form of the wave through which it can perceive its own activity. It assumes the activity of mind. From the point of view of the ocean, there's only one. Only water, inseparable. From the point of view of these waves, there seems to be separate waves, others. From our point of view, we are separate, and that sense of separation arose when we learned a way of thinking when we were young that created a concept of a separate self. When you were a baby, you had no concept of a separate self. You were just purely aware. A baby doesn't know it has a body, or a head, or hands, or eyes. If a baby looks in a mirror, it experiences an image, but it wouldn't know it as itself. It is just an image appearing to a baby. The concept that this is an image of itself has to be taught. A baby has no idea it is separate from its mother. It has no idea it is separate. It doesn't yet know that anything is separate from it. There is no sense of self yet. The mother begins to talk to it and uses a name. The baby experiences hearing, but doesn't know it is sound. It is just something happening. Your mother calls your name over and over, and you are playing in the garden of non-separation, no self. And one day, after hearing this sound many, many times, it occurs to you, oh, I am the name. This aware being then begins to identify with form. With this mistaken identification of self with a form, immediately the mother is separate and the world is separate, because now I am separate. This is the creation of a belief in self. Then, depending on where we were born and our parents and experiences, we add to this identification of who we believe we are and strengthen that sense of separateness and an individual self with an ego and a personality and a body, our notion of I. Now we are beginning to see that this sense of ourself that we think we have had our whole life is not solid. It is just like any other appearance, a sound, a thought, an image, an experience. It comes and goes. We are returning to the free, open awareness we are. Go there now, the knowing that you are. And you can go there by noticing that you're aware of everything that you're hearing. You're aware that you're sitting or lying wherever you are, and that you know that you're aware of these things. In that knowing, you are returning to the free, open awareness that you are. Go there now to the knowing that you are. If there were no thoughts, would you still be here? If there were no feelings, would you still be here? If you didn't have a body, would you still be here? You, the knowing. Allow yourself to rest in the knowing of who you are. Thank you for being here today. See you next week.